Today on Strokecast, OT Erik Johnson joins us to talk about video games and occupational therapy.
The neat thing about the Army is that it's the only field that covers veterinary medicine for the entire military. I had learned the body so well, and even though the dog is different, there's a lot of similar things. And so, transitioning to working with humans, I was like, oh, there's that thing. Oh, there's that thing. Like, every once in a while, we'll have a young stroke that comes through, your 20s or 30s, and they are very different. Like, even working with them, it's different than working with a 50, 60-year-old stroke. Age isn't very forgiving. Our bodies do break down, and our bodies do have a lot of things that happen to them as they change as we get older. The overuse in the non-affected side of your body is tremendous, and people often forget about that. Who's this person? What do I need to do to get them back to, again, their own independent and individual life? What's cool, especially with like augmented reality and virtual reality, I think there's a lot of implication for therapy. Service members that are dealing with mental health issues, a lot of times they'll get on and say, well, I'm going to lose myself in this game because in this game I'm important. You can either identify as your own self, or you can, again, be a full-bodied human and portray it that way. I tell people all the time, I've got scars all over my body, but I would never give them up because it made me who I was. These two young ladies who, essentially both the girls were paraplegic, kind of, if you talk to them about, like, do you wish that you could, be this or be that, or walk normally, they'll tell you, no, this is who I am. I identify as a strong young woman who propels a wheelchair. I recently took a trip to Morocco, and I learned that in Morocco, if you have a kid with disabilities, you're shunned. The kid is not allowed to go to school and has to stay at home, and the family is looked down upon because of it. Essentially, we want to just be the kind of most generationally relevant nonprofit for veterans. It's essentially thinking like the USO or the VFW. Video games is a great medium for anybody to connect. I mean, my dad and I, first 35, 40 years of my life, we probably played 2 games of chess. In the last 2 or 3 years, I played 80 games of chess with him. When I was working with amputees, like, one of the big issues that we had was that prosthetics couldn't operate a smartphone. It's not about tech and how cool it is. It's about empowerment, engagement. If you had a stroke and you're worried about sex, we should talk about that. If you don't know how to wipe your butt, we definitely should talk about that. No. I'm occupational therapy, and let me tell you why that's different. And the difference is that because I'm trying to train you to be a new you, and how to do that effectively. Physical therapy is going to look a lot at, your gait patterns, your movement, your strength, and all that. But OT is going to look at your personal, individual, independent life and how that has been redefined. But I also encourage people that are dealing with the profession to really push those therapists that are working with you.
To hear the whole episode, visit strokecast.com/Erik or subscribe to Strokecast in your favorite podcast application.